You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 337 for November the 1st, 2020.
Where dreams begin.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we? I'm sitting looking out my window and it's a bit damp and horrible where I am. Don't know about where you are.
Yeah, pretty much the same, my lovely. Pretty much the same.
But how are you getting on?
I'm doing okay. The surgery was on Monday. It went really, really well. I am forever thankful for the staff who were amazing at the hospital. I got there for 1:30. And within being there for 15 minutes, I'd seen the anaesthetist, my surgeon, the nurse had checked me in, been through all my paperwork. I was in my gown, in my Elphaba green sexy compression stocking, which is
nice.
To-wit-to-woo. And then they got me all tucked up in bed and said, right, get yourself comfy. We'll come and get you when it's time to go. So I snuggled down. Watched a bit of Moana on that there Disney Plus on my mobile device. And within about 45 minutes they came, got me, operated, and I woke up covered ankle basically to thigh with a big dressing on my leg, and consultant coming round to tell me it had been a front and rear cartilage tear. They had done a really good repair on it and all was looking good.
So now plenty of rest and recovery, Michelle.
That is the plan. That is the plan. It's,
And this is Jane nagging you every day to rest and recover, Michelle.
I am. I've had quite a few sofa surfing days where I've not literally been able to move. Because the hardest thing is when you live in a 4-storey house, you have to move. Because I can't live in my bedroom all day because the food is a floor down. Yeah. And I can't live on the food floor because a toilet is a floor up. Because I have a toilet on every single floor except for the living floor. So a lot of bottom shuffling, getting up and downstairs because I've got compression tights still on one leg and then tubey grip on the other, and I can't really bend my knee. So I look quite hysterical when I'm trying to move about.
Yeah, I have got visions because I know your house quite well. So I have got visions of you making your way up and downstairs via your bottom. So yeah. I can have a giggle about that to myself.
Yeah. It was quite funny though. In theatre, they were sort of preparing me with the anaesthetist. And you're in this sort of like anaesthetic room before you go into the theatre, and he puts a big arrow on the leg. And I said, look, you don't need to put an arrow on my leg. All you need to remember is you're operating on the Snow White leg and leaving the Rapunzel leg on its own. And they just looked at me and I said, look, let me show you. And then they sort of got it. So, yeah, they definitely operated on Snow White, not Rapunzel.
That just goes to show how Disney obsessed we are, isn't it? When you don't refer to left or right leg anymore, it's either Rapunzel or Snow White.
I must admit, I took with me my Tower of Terror black with gold embroidery dressing gown to walk to theatre, and I was surprised it was still there when I woke up because I had quite a few comments about how lovely it looked.
Oh well, at least you got it back. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about little things like that, when you're scared and you're frightened, because normally Tom would come with me to the hospital and stay with me in the room and wait there while I had this operation, and little things like that you can't have because of COVID. He had to literally drop me off at the door, and bear in mind for the past 2 weeks, the nearest we've been has been that in a car wearing masks. And he couldn't give me a little kiss goodbye to wish me luck. He couldn't squeeze my hand to say good luck, Shell. None of that has been allowed. And the only comfort that I really had was to surround myself with the Disney, because I couldn't have a physical person with me. So I had my dressing gown. I had my Moana film on the old phone. And it just goes to show that little things like that, the amount of comfort that they bring into your life is really, really important.
Yeah, sometimes it's the little things that make the most impact, isn't it?
And I think before we go on, I would just like to just sort of mention, I know we've talked about this off air, but this week we had the big announcement about the staff losses to the people that make the magic. We're not talking about the execs with their multi-million pound salaries. We know they're going to be fine. It's the actual people on the ground, in the parks, behind the scenes, that make our magical day happen, all the way from the people that sell us our tickets at the turnstiles, to the people that clean the rooms, to prepare our food, clean the parks, the janitorial staff, the horticultural staff, the Imagineering staff, and those that are front of house that you see, the streetmosphere and the performers. I would just like to say thank you for making all the memories that I have got from my trips, and let's hope that you are back where you belong, in employment, earning a living wage for you and your family. I know there are many places where people who would like to contribute can. Cast Member Pantry is one of them over on Facebook. If you're able to do something just to help out our wonderful former cast members, please do so, because I know some people have had some pretty awful news this week to say that they're not going to have a job, and basically their dreams have been dashed of working for Disney.
Yeah, it's really sad times, and you could put your, I don't know, your very black and white hat on and say, well, it's a business and you can appreciate one thing or another with Disney. But I don't know, this time I think it really hurts, the fact that these are people that, like you've just said, Michelle, bring us so much joy through perhaps very short interactions that we may have with them. And as we've said numerous times on this show, it is about the whole package going to Disney. It's not just about the roller coasters. It's not just about the shops. It's about everything, every tiny little piece of Disney. And you just hope to goodness that those that are in power, who are still earning their full salary, who haven't, they've gone back to earning what they want to earn, that they remember what the Disney company was set up for and the true ethos behind it, and that they remember to look out for these people, because they will need them again in the future. It may not be in the next 6 months, it may be further down the line, but they're going to need them again. And, they should be treating them with a lot more respect than they are doing at the moment.
How many times, people who are now listening to this, have you been in a Disney park and not ridden an attraction because you wanted to listen to the Dapper Dans, because you wanted to go and see one of the amazing shows like Beauty and the Beast live, or just sit and absorb the atmosphere from the street characters and the interaction that you've had with somebody, They are the people that set the park away from everything else. And there's been so many times that I have been in and I've just grabbed something to eat and just wandered around and absorbed it, and it's those people that's been taken away, been chopped down mercilessly like a Christmas tree and discarded because it's not needed. And they are the people that make the difference in this park. I'm looking at the list. We've already known about the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra, but it's things like the Green Army Men. Little touches. Little touches. Pirates League, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. They've slashed that. Turtle Talk with Crush. All of these little things that just build up your day and make it so memorable. And to have these lost is to take away the Disney experience. But the biggest smack in the face is you're getting half the experience, but that ticket price has stayed the same.
Yeah, I know. And this is the cruel thing with all of this, isn't it? Like I said, we understand business. We know it's a business and we know it's there to make profit. We get that. But Disney has always been about so much more. And, the resorts at the end of the day are a big part of their income, much bigger than people realise. And if they're going to go down this road and, for want of a better phrase, hack off those of us that are big Disney fans, they could feel it big time in years to come, because they don't want to be, riling the Disney fandom out there. We want to stay fans. We want to still, come to Disney and enjoy it like we have done in the past. We don't want to be paying out the same money for something that is, I don't know, 50% less than what we have had in previous years. It just stinks from so many angles.
Absolutely. And I know over in Disneyland itself, cast members received emails this week saying that basically end of the year they were losing their role as well. It's not just being over at Walt Disney World. It is a really sad time, and heartfelt apologies on behalf of us out to those cast members. You are much loved. We desperately want to see you back in the parks doing the job you love, but until you can do that, I hope that you are able to find employment and not fall on hard times.
It's fingers crossed, and thank goodness for people out there that have been willing to promote their plight and set up various fundraising options for them, because it's, they need it and we're happy to support.
Yeah. So it's also been a bad day for Disneyland Paris as well, Jane.
Yeah, because of the French COVID reaction at the moment, they're going into lockdown from Friday the 30th of October. So therefore, Disneyland Paris must close its doors from Friday the 30th as well.
It's a weird one, because from what they're sort of saying is that they're going to close down and then they're going to hopefully open up between the 19th of December and 3rd of January so that they can have a sort of season of Christmas open. Now, January is normally a very cold time of the year there, and a quiet time. So they're going to take that opportunity to stay closed then from the 3rd of January through 12th of February and aim that to be the big reopening day. I have seen quite a few people who've had trips booked and have just gone literally for the day to get that trip in, because obviously it does close down 48 hours notice. I was chatting with Tommy Allison last night, our good friend, and he was saying, well, why 48 hours? Well, firstly, you've got to appreciate that Disneyland Paris isn't actually in Paris, it's on the outskirts.
Yes, yeah.
There are people from all over Europe that would be there at that time. And if you just basically said, right, we're closing now, how are those people all going to get home? It would cause a massive panic. So to gradually do it and say, look, you've got 48 hours, then we're going into this shutdown. It gives people that opportunity who have got trips booked to get them cancelled and not travel. People who are there to be able to sort of get arrangements in place to get home.
Yeah.
And prior to this anyway, a lot of people had cancelled, like our lovely Tracy Farley, because the 14-day quarantine rule that people who were travelling to France had to follow when coming back to the UK.
Yeah, I'll say for us over here personally, especially for you and I, Michelle, we've talked about this before. We can't afford to have 14 days without going to work when we come back for what would be normally a 2, 3, 4 day trip. So that was a big factor for us anyway. But they've got to give people time to get themselves organised and either experience it for one last time or get themselves home. But interesting that, say, they're having this kind of closing down and then reopening for Christmas, maybe, possibly, and then closing down again. I mean, January to February. Having done February, it is very cold in Disneyland Paris. The cynical part of me looks at the date and goes, 12th of February. Yeah, that's when the schools that next break after Christmas. That's when we have our next holiday, isn't it? Interesting that it ties in with when the schools are on holiday, but hey ho.
Well, Disney have put out some advice to say that you can postpone your trip, and if you decide to make a new booking, they'll transfer your balance to that and refund any difference if it's going to be at a lower price. If it's going to be higher, you'll be asked to pay the additional. They're offering all sorts of rates that you'll be able to do, and one of the things is that they're offering a free dine for arrivals 1st of April through to 30th of September 2021.
Oh, okay.
So, they are trying their best. I imagine if you have got a trip booked, it's going to be quite a challenge to get through on the phones today, because I imagine they're going to be swamped.
I would think so, but obviously they're going to be set up for it, aren't they? So they're going to, I think just be patient and you'll get through eventually over the course of the next few days or weeks. And they have been pretty good so far, haven't they, at sorting people out?
Yeah, yeah. Talking of refunds, while we're on a quick catch-up, I am still waiting on one. Can you believe it?
Would that be the cruise one, Michelle?
Yes.
Mm.
Still waiting on the final bit of that. I got the money back from the hotel element of my October half-term trip. The only holiday I've got outstanding is the cruise for next year. But to be quite honest, I've chatted a few times with other cruise friends, and if the experience is not going to be the same, it's just not going to work for me. I'm not going to pay out Disney premium prices to go and have a lesser experience, because Tom's never cruised before. So to go on a holiday on a cruise ship for 7 days and have to wear a mask, have less of an experience with regards to dining, with regards to the tours and everything, I can see that being cancelled. And the likelihood of being able to travel to Alaska next year is very, very slim, let's be honest, because this COVID is not going around anywhere. It is sticking around. We're facing a wave 2. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michelle. I think and it's like we just said, with relation to the ticket prices for Disney in respect of the current layoffs, all of a sudden people are going to question paying out hundreds and thousands of dollars when it comes to cruises. Am I going to pay that money out that you were wanting the same amount of money off me last year and I was getting all of this, and now I'm only getting half of what I would have been getting? At the end of the day, when times are tough, people have to look after the money in the wallet, and Disney will pay for that ultimately because they won't get the uptake.
True. Interesting news from over at Beaches and Cream, Jane. Did you see this one?
Yeah, there's no hollering going on anymore, is there? And shouting.
Yeah, now you order your wonderful kitchen sink and normally get the flashing lights, and everybody goes, and a whole can of whipped cream. It's been judged to be too much of a COVID risk.
Yeah.
So it's been removed for the moment.
Yeah, you can still get it, but without the fanfare.
Which is a good thing. You can still get it.
Yeah. You can't have the fun and games that go with it.
I've just got something that's sort of going in my head, and this whole COVID mask wearing thing has amplified it. Birthday cakes and candles.
Yeah.
Well, I remember going to birthdays when I was younger, and you'd have, all the candles, jokey ones like for my dad when he was like 50, having 50 candles, virtually setting the house on fire.
Yeah.
The amount of spit that must have got on that icing.
Yeah.
And we were there tucking into this cake. The whole COVID thing's just made me wake up to some of the unsafe practices that we used to do.
Well, we did, and but to quote anybody, we didn't actually kind of kill anybody through doing it, did we? But there was that element of, I think in these times we suddenly become hyper aware of things that we were doing without any given thought before.
Yeah, okay. I gather we're going to talk a little bit about the Disney stars.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the moment, a lot of people are just living vicariously by a trip to the Disney store.
Or by online Disney store, in my case.
True.
Well, they keep sending me vouchers, Michelle. It'd be rude not to use them, wouldn't it?
They don't send me vouchers. I'm going to start moaning here. I want my voucher Disney store. I spend a lot of money on your shop, but it could be that sometimes when I order, I just don't bother logging in with my account because I just can't be bothered with the hoo-ha.
Ah, there you go then. Lesson to you.
And make sure I order properly. 387 stores worldwide.
Wow, okay.
At one point, it was over 700.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it'd gone back that far. I knew there'd been closures, but wow.
The first one was in Glendale Galleria in California, opened on the 28th of March, 1987.
Oh, I wasn't even married back then.
Yeah. The very first one in Europe was in London,
Yeah,
and we've both had the pleasure of being there.
yeah.
It's got a 267-foot high princess castle, animated clock, and princesses make their appearances in windows.
Didn't realise it was that big, actually.
It's a two-floor one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you sort
that's
of
right.
go downstairs into it.
Yeah, you forget. Yeah,
But even so, you say that it's the biggest one in Europe. It gets pretty packed on a Saturday afternoon.
yeah. It's not somewhere to go if you're not a fan of crowds, is it really?
Well, I suppose at the moment now they're limiting the number of people you can get in, but
Maybe
yeah.
it's the ideal time to go then.
Yeah, true. 31st of March 2003, the 16 Disney stores in Australia closed.
So does that mean there's no Disney stores in Australia?
No.
Oh, that's sad.
It is. Not only are they the furthest away from some of the parks, they're the furthest away from some of the shops.
Yeah. So yeah. I hope they have a Shop Disney online for them.
What do you think?
I would think they probably do. Yes,
Probably at extortionate shipping rates.
more than likely.
Yeah. 2010, Disney started rolling out a new themed retail experience, and this redesign was actually led by Steve Jobs.
Never knew that.
Yeah, and well, we know where these silly keys that I've now got obsessed
Yeah.
into collecting came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
You can actually go to the store, and if you're the first one there, there's a big sort of padlocky key outside, and you can unlock the key, and you get a little gift one. That's how it all came about.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because the keys have just kind of become a thing in their own right now, haven't they?
Yeah, I have got quite a collection. I need to start buying some frames to get them up on the wall. This is my mantra at the moment. Stop keeping things in boxes. Get them
Yes.
out on display. Enjoy them.
Absolutely. Definitely.
There's another on this day in Disney history today, though.
Okay. What we got?
Keppel Disney, Walt Disney's paternal grandfather, is born in Ireland in 1832.
Oh, you know what? I've learnt something today. I didn't know there was an Irish connection. There you go.
And you know our favourite shop in the Magic Kingdom, the Christmas one?
Yeah. Any shop's Christmas's favourite. Yeah, go on.
And it's happened to be over the way from Sleepy Hollow where we can get the most amazing waffles. And I think
True.
that is one of the foods that I can tempt Jane away from keto with.
Definitely, definitely.
There's a little sign that says Keppel on the door, on this sort of side of the door. I bet you didn't know that.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's a little one to look out for next time I'm there, whenever that may be.
We'll be there before we know it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But all of these layoffs, though, aren't quietening down the experience over at Disney Springs because, believe it or not, this last week, a new concept place was announced to be opening up, and this is Everglazed Donuts and Cold Brew.
Yeah, some concept art has been released, hasn't it? It's like very neon-y and bright and big. I mean, I'm not very much au fait with Voodoo Donuts, but I know you are, Michelle. Is it kind of like competitor, do you reckon, to that?
No.
No, okay. That was you didn't even think about that, the answer to that question,
Well,
did
from,
you?
from what I've seen, from what I've read about Everglazed, is that it is just literally going to be a Disney Springs outlet. I cannot find anything about this company anywhere else on social
okay.
media. And I believe that it's just going to be there. The differences with Voodoo Donuts, I think, is they are more on the shapes and the fillings and the
Yeah.
sizes, where I think these are all going to be your classic donut shapes.
Right, it's a more standard sort of
Yeah. And I found out at Christmas when I was in Disneyland, the big thing over there at the moment is this nitro-infused chilled coffee. And I did actually try one, and I honestly thought up to that point, cold coffee, bleh. But it was absolutely delicious, especially when they put
okay.
7 ton of sugary cream on top of it.
Well, I must admit that was when I saw Cold Brew, and see me with little knowledge went, cold brew, what, beer? That's what came to mind when I saw the word cold brew. And then I obviously realised we're talking about coffee. And I love my coffee, but cold coffee doesn't really do it for me.
Oh, you'll love it. They've released some artwork of some of the donuts, and they do look very, very impressive. There's like it reminds me of the donut place you took me to in Nottingham, where you have your classic donut and it's slathered in a really thick, unctuous topping. So there's like a white icing with crumbles of Oreos and a whole Oreo in the middle. Americans love their weird and wonderful cereals, so there's ones with cereals, there's dried bananas, there's chocolate. I imagine at some point there will be a PB&J because it is just the law.
Well, I would hope so, yes. Even though I wouldn't go for it, but I know that, in your little life, Michelle, PB&J is a must.
It is a must. It is an absolute must because you cannot have Disney without stuff like that. So, yeah, it is the law. So that's coming. So, there is things like that happening.
Yeah, it is a weird time, isn't it? Because, you on one hand, you've got the layoffs happening, yet there's still work happening on some of the roller coasters that are in production. There's still, improvements happening to like the entrance signs and things like that to Disney World, ready for the celebrations next year. So it is this sort of weird. Obviously there is money to do certain things with, but not other things, and I think that's probably why we get a little bit angsty, and you can't quite balance up the two things because there's money going into the hard retail side of things, but cast members who make it what it is don't appear to be getting treated as we would like them to be.
True. Now, I've been doing a little bit of online Christmas shopping. As you know, I like my little Disney touches, and I found the thing, if you are in the States, to get yourself hold of this Christmas. Right.
All right.
Imagine a snow globe.
Yes.
Imagine it having like a tree and a Mickey and a Minnie in the middle of said tree in their Santa outfits.
Yeah.
And it dispensing hand wash gel. And when you shake it, it snows.
Is this like playing into our obsession now with having clean hands?
I just think the only thing that I think they could have done to this to make it even more unbelievable is that when you press the little pump action at the top, is that the little bit of liquid comes out in a Mickey Mouse shape.
Or when you press the top of it, it plays a Christmas song.
Oh, are you ready for Christmas?
Oh, yes,
a little bit of Neil Patrick Harris bringing to life there, Jane.
Yes, please. I have been told by my daughter that the 1st of November we swap from our Halloween playlist to our Christmas playlist in our house. So please think of me on today's show.
Well, Tom's rule is we get past 17th of November, his birthday, and we are allowed Christmas tree up.
Yeah, we have a similar rule in my house because my dad's birthday is the day after Tom, so we always wait till after my dad's birthday. But I've got a sneaky feeling this year that might not hold out very well.
Yeah. Anyway, digressing back to the Mickey and Minnie Snow Globe lotion pump. It's available from Bed Bath & Beyond, $29.99, and they did not offer to send us one for free, unfortunately, for mentioning it. Bad Bed Bath & Beyond, you should do.
We could have product tested it and all sorts, couldn't we?
I think they need some British people to feed back about whether this works or not,
Yeah, they need to expand their market.
Yeah, get some Bed Bath & Beyonds over here.
Yeah. Oh, yes, please. That'd be good.
Anyway, so I mentioned about putting the Christmas tree up. However, I am going to have a little bit fuller than usual household this Christmas because we are getting a little kitten.
Oh, new kitten and Christmas tree. That could be a bit of interesting times, Michelle.
Yes, we get Kitty on, I think, the 12th of December, and we are going to be having a kitty pen because the kitty is not going to be allowed full access anyway because we know I will not have a Christmas tree left. But when I mentioned it a few weeks ago on the show, Alan Syria took time out to send us a lovely little email, and he's put some suggestions forward.
Oh, yes, because we need a Disney and scientific name, don't we?
Yeah, so he says, Michelle, congrats on the new kitten. I have a suggestion that may tick both the boxes. Our family cat, when I was a child, was named Toulouse. Always loved that name. He was an orange tabby, and I never knew until I was much older that it was also the name of the city in France. Toulouse is also one of the names of Marie's kittens in the Aristocats. He was the scrappy one.
Ah.
The University of Toulouse is one of France's top engineering schools, and in 2018 it was called the Science Capital of the World when it hosted a scientific conference with participants all over the world. He's obviously done his research, as Alan. I'm really, really impressed.
Yeah,
also, Pierre de Fermat, the famous French mathematician and contemporary of Descartes, is thought to have studied law in Toulouse. So, but I think I'm 99% certain on a name.
Is it the one that you've alluded to before, Michelle, beginning with a W?
I've got a cat already called Lily Bell, as a little nod to Walt Disney, the amazing train car made out in Lillian's memory. And I just thought it would be just too amazing to have a kitten and have the opportunity to call that boy kitten anything other than Walter.
Yeah, it does. The more I think about it, it is quite cute to have a kitten called Walter, because I've never heard of a cat called Walter before.
That's the point. That is my ethos. I like to do things that people haven't done before.
Yeah.
Kitten, Walter, thank you for your suggestion, Alan, and everybody else who has sent pictures and suggestions of their cats and whatever, but I think I'm pretty sold on little Walter. And as I get some more pictures, I will share them on the family page, because he is the most adorable kitten. He is so cute. So cute. And I can't wait to finally meet him, if we are allowed to meet him, because he lives in Wales at the moment. And as our lovely friend Tracy will tell us, we can't visit Wales at the moment.
No. Oh, quick, let's get these lockdowns over and done with so Shelley can get a cat.
Exactly, or there might be a little bit of meet me under the bridge at midnight madness going on or something.
I say, can you meet on the border and just hand him over, sort of thing?
You know, like at Bridge of Spies, where they're passing over spies to a different country.
Yeah, like under the cover of night. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all basically it for this week's show. We're going to go over in a moment and do a extra special show for our Patreons. They've already had us musing about the Tower of Terror. Well, we're going to be musing about some other Disney topics, so they'll have that available for them as well today. And if you want to find out more, see some pictures about what we're trying to squeeze into our Disney lives while basically confined to barracks, have a little look at Diz Dream Girls, where you'll see some images from Jane's and my life, how we're coping with COVID times when you're a Disney fan. You can also join in the fun with our Disney Dream Girls podcast family over on Facebook. We do a weekly quiz on Sundays, and really it's more of a chance for us all just to drop by, say hi, keep in touch with everybody, and talk to the wonderful Disney family that we've got. Anyway, until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.